Hello everyone. Hope you all are doing good. So today our topic is going to be on AWS VPC, otherwise called as Virtual Private Cloud. So always, while we prefer for cloud options, there is like a little concern, okay? We want to have something like kind of private connections. So, which resembles closely to a traditional network that we would operate on our own data center. Okay, so this AWS VPC, Virtual Private Cloud, helps us to achieve that. So we'll have a look on what is it all about. So this is going to be the pictorial representation of Amazon VPC. Basically, this VPC, is a kind of virtual network that closely resembles a traditional network. Like in our own data center, how we will define, right? Like that, this virtual private cloud will be a space for us, for our private use. Private use in the sense, if you don't want to go with the public cloud usage, okay, you can prefer for using the private cloud space. So how this actually operates? If you take any AWS region, there will be more than one availability zone. Okay. So what are the availability zones we are using? We can configure one VPC. If you see this diagram, there is a VPC, and under one VPC, for each availability zone, there is a subnet added. And in this subnet, we can use n number of AWS resources. So you could ask why we want to go for this. If you are going to build your own data center and use for your application needs, wherever it is required, you have to scale up or down, and you have to keep on adding your uh, just removing of the resources which you use on a daily basis or on a uh, any planned basis. But in AWS, we know n number of resources are available. So if you're going for an a VPC, the same thing, you will be able to use the benefits which is provided like kind of from AWS. That is a scalable infrastructure. You can add instances, endpoints, gateways, peering connections, so many things you can add it as per your need, and you can just use it. So under the VPC across availability zone, each availability zone has to hold one subnet. From there only further configurations can be done, where you can deploy so many AWS resources as per your need and use it appropriately. And you can also try to have an internet gateway so that you could, communicate to the outside world as well. Okay. For any other public needs, or, you want to communicate or get some data from outside. Okay. That kind of need is also being achieved through this VPC. Because saying that virtual private cloud, you should not think like, what about the public needs of to and fro messaging or data flow in and out towards the outside world, how it's going to be, there is nothing going to be affected, because the internet gateway will help us to do that as well. Okay. So if you see, these are kind of supporting features which will allow us to configure a proper VPC that will handle all our application needs mostly. So what are the major features? I'm just covering it today. So as I told, under a VPC, across any single availability zone, if you take subnet configuration is a must. A subnet is a kind of range of IP address you can select for your VPC, because it's a private thing, right? So which IP range you want, you can just ask it for and keep it for your VPC. And as I told, it must reside in single availability zone. So one AZ should have one subnet. Okay. One subnet cannot be deployed across availability zones. This is one important thing. After adding the subnet, as I told, all the AWS resources like in the picture, they have used the EC2 instances. Okay. So like this, you can use the gateways, endpoints, many things can be done, whatever the things you want. So then IP addressing. After getting the range of IP address, you want to, allocate which resource needs to access which one, like that, right? Because there will be IPv4, IPv6, okay? Any other NAT gateways, network load balancers, other EC2 instances, which is defined by you for general usage. Many things which will be used for your application need will be there. So always the IP addressing comes as the next step. Okay, you have to allocate the AWS resource accordingly to meet your needs. And then when there is the network traffic is going to be there. Okay, so from here, obviously it's a private cloud space. So network traffic is going to be, coming on and off, right? So you want to use it for routing that and telling where this has to be directed. So use the route tables to determine where network traffic has to go further. The gateway, coming to the gateway and endpoints, these are the two main things. Gateway is going to be a kind of internet gateway which will connect your VPC to the outside world, that is like to the internet world, so that you can get some data, or if you want to send some information, you can use that. The endpoint, again, on the other side, if you want to have and use some highly confidential things in the private cloud, even in our organization also, right? If we take, not all the information is accessible to all the users. Admin users will be having some access level, the normal employees will be having some access level, like that. So within that virtual private cloud, if you want to connect to AWS services privately in a more secured way, you can use a VPC endpoint without the usage of internet gateway or any other intermediary device, say like NAT device or something. You can just go for the VPC endpoint connection. And the peering connection, this is very important. Okay, so if you are having one VPC and there the traffic is going to be there, and you want to have a second VPC, the peer partner, where you want to route the traffic between these two VPCs all the time. Say in one region you are having one VPC, and the other region you are having one VPC, we can make the or define the VPC peering connection between these two to enable the traffic routing between them whenever and wherever necessary. And always the traffic, we are talking so much of network traffic here. So the traffic mirroring, if you want to analyze or do some inspection, okay, you don't want to disturb this private cloud space. So you can just copy the network traffic from the network interfaces and send it to the security and monitoring appliances, okay, for deep packet inspection, so that you will be able to get why the traffic is happening, and take some mitigation or some steps to overcome it. Okay, then the transit gateways. Using a transit gateway, you'll be able to see like a central hub to route traffic between your VPCs or virtual private networks. Somebody can use the AWS direct connections also. So between these things, you want to transit, I mean send and receive data within your set. So the transit gateways will help to transit the data. And VPC flow logs. So what is coming in and what is going out? The flow logs will be capturing the information about the IP traffic going to and from the network interfaces in your VPC. And this will again help for the further analysis based upon the business needs. And finally, as I told, the VPN connection, virtual private network connections. So in, say like you are having some special clients, okay, on premises only they want to deploy this VPCs and use it for the virtual private network connections. That also can be achieved through this VPC setup. So these are a kind of major supporting features which will help us to configure a VPC and use it across widely for various users as per our application needs and organizational needs. So hope you all got some good idea of what is Amazon VPC is used for and what are the other things or key supporting features it's helping around. Okay, if you find this video interesting, guys, please do share it to your friends. And also, if you are new to our channel, please do subscribe and support us. If you want us to make some video on any topic, right, please do post it in the comment section. We'll try to come up with a video for you as well. Thanks for watching now. Okay, all of you take care. Bye, guys. For now, it's a Vicky signing off. All of you take care.